Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Aquaponics World. And today I'm doing a water change. It's been a couple of weeks, almost 3 weeks since I've done a water change, so it's looking a little yellow. So I'm just gonna, right now I'm draining the water out, and I guess I'll take you down from the tripod and show you that a little bit. I've done videos on how to do this, but I'm gonna show you around a little bit. So this is the pump, and if you close this out valve, it stops the water from going back into the fish tank. And first you want to open up this this service valve. This hose right here has a valve on it, and you can close the water on that. Anyway, and that will, or open it, and that will let the water out. So that's what I'm doing right now. Get you back up here. So yeah, so the water's getting a little bit yellow, but it has been 3 weeks since I've done a water change. Huge difference in the feeding them less. Huge difference. I'm glad I started feeding them less. I would show you how much I'm feeding them, but I'll show that on another video. It's just a pinch. It has been getting cold here. So normally with fish tanks, you have to add a chiller to keep the tank a little bit colder. But for me, with the glowfish, they are tropical fish and they needed a little bit of a warmer temperature. Goldie though, goldfish are great. They don't care, like cold, hot. You know, they actually like cold water. Works pretty well for them. So what I want to do right now is drain 1/4 of the water. I don't want to drain any more than that because the pump doesn't drain more than that. So I'm not too sure exactly whether it's because I don't know why it only drains 1/4 of the water. I think it has something to do with the intake hose, but anyway, I want to drain out about 1/4 of the water, and while I'm doing that, I'm just going to wash off the glass, and I wanted to talk to you guys a bit while I did this water change out about survival. So if you're wanting to be able to survive in the wilderness, survive off the fat of the land, okay, sorry, I just had to, the valves are really important. When you're shutting off the water, you have to make sure that you shut it off in the right order. So what I just did was I opened up the out valve so that the water would start spraying back into the fish tank, and then I closed the service valve. Because if you do it backwards, then the water has nowhere to go, and it starts spraying out the canister. So you have to have the right order, you have to do it in that order. But anyways, what I was talking about survival is that, you know, if you've read of Mice and Men, you know, it's kind of a joke to think that you can live off the fat of the land. There is no place to live off the fat of the land. You can have a fish tank though. And if you have a fish tank, you have fertilizer. And if you have fertilizer, you can grow good fruits and vegetables and fish. So you have a food source, and it's kind of important for survival to have a good food source. Now, you know, I see a lot of people saying, you know, I can go out and hunt, but you're literally stealing somebody else's animal. I mean, that's theft. You can't just go out and hunt. I mean, yeah, you can go out and pay to hunt. You can go out and pretend like you're an old school hunter-gatherer guy from 10,000 years ago, but those don't exist anymore. You can't just be a hunter-gatherer. So, you know, like I said, when the time comes, if there was an apocalypse, something happened where everybody was scrambling to survive, and you go on somebody's land and shoot their deer, they're going to shoot you. So you got to have your own food source, you know, and if you don't have your own deer on your own land, which most people don't, like, that's pretty cool if you do. If you have deer running through your land. I was talking to somebody about this. I guess you can't really keep them trapped. They just kind of cross through your land. But it would be kind of cool to have your own land with deer going through it that you could, you know, hunt and stuff, or to own your own land. And or, you know, fertilizer. I mean, that's a huge thing right there in itself, is like, how are you going to make fertilizer in an apocalypse? You know, let's say you can't go down to the store to buy your bag of fertilizer, your triple 15. What are you going to use for fertilizer? And I think that the essence to that is that, you know, if you don't have deer running through your land, you don't have organic matter. And so you have to have some kind of organic matter. And I think that having fish is a lot easier than trying to raise cow or raise deer. I mean, yeah, if you're built like that, some of us are built different. You can go have a ranch, have cows, have deer running through your farm. And now, you know, I mentioned feeding yourself with fruits and vegetables. Now, a vegetarian diet, growing your own vegetarian diet, let me tell you about that. Because I thought someday when I grow up, I'm going to grow my own vegetarian diet. In fact, I told my teacher someday I want to be a farmer when I grow up. And she laughed, because you can't be a farmer unless you're a millionaire. But you can't even farm your own food. Not a vegetarian diet. I mean, unless you can grow trees, like apple trees maybe, I don't know. But the acreage, we're talking about the acreage alone, the land that you would need. We're talking about 1,000 acres, I think it would take to feed yourself. 1,000 acres. I mean, I've grown a little crop of corn. I didn't post it on this channel because I hadn't started this channel yet, and I should post that. But I grew a little patch of corn, you know, and some other vegetables. Took up about, I don't know, 1/3 of an acre, and I think I got about maybe 80 pounds of food. It was a good deal. I mean, 80 pounds of food, if you store it right, you know, could last you, what, eat a pound a day, that could last you a couple of months. That could last you 3 months, but that's not gonna last you all year, right? So, and I'm pretty good at farming, so I was able to get a really good crop, you know, but you're gonna need a lot. And we're not talking about, you know, what I did, which was just a patch of corn. You wanna have different type of stuff to eat. So forget about it. You're not gonna grow your own fruits and vegetables and live off of a vegetarian diet unless you have 1,000 acres of land and time. The time consumingness of it all is crazy. But even if you did, let's say you did, let's say you were built different, you're built like me, you want to be a gardener, you want to grow a farm big enough to feed yourself, you're gonna need fertilizer. End of the day, you're gonna need this stuff right here. Comes in my fish tank for free. No haver process, none of that. Just feed the fish. And you know what I was thinking too is you go fishing, get yourself a little fish, put it in your fish tank, grow it up, eat it, you know, and use the water for fertilizer for your plants. So this water here has NPK. What I just dumped out the window is basically really high in ammonia, which is a really great source of nitrogen. You know, it does need to be broken down, but that's what's awesome about a fish tank is that I have this pump that has bacteria and biological material in there that eats up the ammonia and turns it into nitrate. So it's basically a natural system to break down the ammonia is to do it with a fish tank pump. The fish tank pump is an awesome way to turn your ammonia into nitrate, because you have that biological bacteria in there, and that's why you don't change out your filters all the time, for that very reason, because those are breaking down ammonia. So you want to have those filters have some biological material in them so that they can break down the ammonia. But back to what I'm doing right now. The biological material can only break down so much ammonia, and then it just becomes like Cartman, like South Park. I mean, when they did the water park episode, it becomes like 70% pee, and then that's when you really gotta do something about that, which is change the water. You change out a quarter of your water, you know, once a week, and you'll have good clear water, as long as you don't overfeed them. Now, I've seen people tossing handfuls of food into a bunch of fish, and they're trying to raise them up and stuff like that. So that's why I thought that I want to see if I can feed this guy as much as I can feed him, get him built up as fast as I can and as big as I can and stuff like that. But ultimately, overfeeding your fish, whether or not it gets them bigger faster or they like it more or not, it's not worth it. I want to have a clear fish tank. And the other choice is to have like 3 or 4 pumps hooked up to this, which I definitely thought about doing that, but I'm just going to go with the organic matter, you know, and I mean the way that everybody does it, with one pump, just a regular pump. I already have an overkill of pump here, and yeah, anyways, I just wanted to share that with you guys. So I'm going to clean all this glass off real quick. I'm going to scrub off all the glass, and then I'm going to get some water out of the tap. Got the hose hooked up to the sink, run that all the way up here, but I'm going to put the water into a tote. I'm going to fill up a tote before I pour it into the tank, and I'm going to get some water conditioner and condition the water before I put it in there. And I'm also going to use the pump to pump the water in here, so I don't have to pick up the tote and pour it in there. I can use the pump for 2 things. I can use it to get the water out the window, and I can use it to pump the water back in. So it's really important to have a good pump. But yeah, I just wanted to touch bases with you guys, let you guys know how important it is to have usable soil. If your soil doesn't have organic matter in it, it will not grow food, you know, and you have to add organic matter to your soil in order to grow food. And you know, and it's very important to know that, so that when you run out of soil, when the earth runs out of soil, you'll have a way to add organic matter to your plants, right? So you're going to have to grow hydroponically. If there's no soil, you'll have to grow hydroponically, and that's what we're looking at here. We're looking at people in Chicago starving, famine, you know, and eventually worldwide famine, because if you don't have soil, you don't have food. So this stuff is just temporary. Once we run out of soil, we will all die. Everything will die. So if you haven't checked out the hashtag save soil, hashtag save soil, go check it out. And getting, you know, trees planted into the soil, billions of trees getting planted into the soil. So it's a really great movement, and look into the importance of soil, because if you do have a farm and you have an opportunity to add organic matter to get a cow out there on your farm, you know, get a cow out onto the farm. It'll save your farm, because eventually your farm won't be able to grow fruits and vegetables if it doesn't have organic matter being added back into the soil every time. So every season you got to add in some more organic matter into that soil, or eventually it will become sand and the water will go right through it, and you can't save it at that point. It takes thousands of years to make it back to where it was. So you can keep it the way it is just by adding organic matter onto it, you know, and we're going to be passing this soil on to our kids and our grandkids. So it's really important that if you do have a farm, that you get some cows and add that organic matter into the soil. Like I said, this is a very small, microscopic, you know, this is the micro fight that the movement that I'm doing here is just how to get nutrients into my own growing. You know, how can I add organic matter into my own personal life? I don't have a farm, so this is what I'm doing to add organic matter into my own personal life. And like I said, if ever there was an apocalypse, I do have a way that I don't have to go to the store. I can get free nutrients. So if you're one of those apocalypse people wondering, you know, what should you have in a bunker? Fish tank. You got to have organic matter. You got to have something to grow your plants so that you can feed yourself. So anyways, this is something that would keep you alive. Great survival kit right here, having a fish tank. I've grown plants straight out of it. I've used the water for fertilizer. I will be doing more projects on that soon, I promise. I've been really busy lately at work, but more projects to come. And I appreciate all of my subscribers. I'm always surprised to see new subscribers. Sorry, that was a silly Sally seashells tongue twister. So that being said, you guys have a great night, and thanks for watching. Bye.